Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, as you can see, I'm not in the usual place that I would do these videos. I'll pop a couple of pictures up to show you the current state of that room. I'm actually rebuilding it and turning it into a proper studio as such. So the next couple of videos will be recorded in here. But today I have for you this, which is the Wange Panther. Obviously it's a Panther. This wasn't the video that I was planning on bringing you, but as you can appreciate, with everything all in such a mess, the tank that I was going to bring you today I couldn't find, so I had to make do with this one. But I'm also going to change what we do in this, in that at the end of the video, when I do my sort of final thoughts, I'm going to add alternatives in there and show you the different companies and prices that you, if you didn't want this, that you could get. But till we get there, it'll be the normal format. It'll be 60-second speed build, some pics, and then a review. So let's crack on and build. Right, the Wange Panther. Okay, not happy with this thing at all. It's not so much the looks of it, it's the way it's built. It's horrible. But let's go through the normal process. The instructions are not bad. However, it's like having a set of instructions telling you how to slit your own wrists. While I do appreciate at the back they have a parts list, I do appreciate that the model only has a few stickers, and that they have done very well in matching the background colour of these stickers to the actual bricks themselves. That's fantastic. There are a few areas in here where it's a little difficult to see, and there's a little bit of trial and error sometimes, especially at the beginning. Now, I want to say one thing about the beginning. It's the whole, when you're putting in basically the subframe, all this, nothing here is held on by more than one stud, and then you're supposed to put the wheels on, and obviously when you're pushing the axles into these bricks at the side, you do require a little bit of pressure to do that, and it just makes the whole thing crumble. It's incredibly badly thought out, the actual build process. So what I ended up doing was realising just how bad this was. I got to that point, so I got to this point here, completely skipped this, went straight to this number 9 here, where it was strengthening the sort of sub chassis, then went back and put the wheels on, because otherwise you would be, well, I'd probably still be there screaming at it right now. They will do the job, but you need to be aware and have your brains with you on that. Not the greatest I've ever seen, I have to admit. Now, as far as the bricks go, like previous Wange models, they've got a nice feel to them. They are slightly softer. There was nothing missing, no warpage, no discoloration, which is always good. We like that. But what tends to happen with soft bricks, although they do feel nice, they don't get a particularly good purchase a lot of the time, particularly if you're only using one or sometimes even two nodes or studs. They just will not stay. So for instance, this little sort of triangular piece here at the back of the side skirt, that, if I can fold this up, that is only held on by one stud. It's ridiculously easy to fall off, and unfortunately quite a lot of it is these lumps at the back here. Again, really easy to fall off, as is the exhaust. It sort of it starts off fragile, it gets a bit more solid, then it gets fragile again, then it gets more solid, all the way through. And unfortunately, you do end up with something that is really quite fragile, which is a little bit of a shame, because as far as looks go, the basic shape is about right. I've got no real problems there. It would have been nice to have seen the actual body ever so slightly wider, and they've certainly gone for a bit of overkill with the machine gun there, the MG34. Oh, and by the way, on the mouse that I did a couple of weeks back, where they had actually a very similar sort of sized secondary gun in the turret, that's not a machine gun. That's a 76mm Canon. Yeah, it's not a machine gun tool, but yeah, that is supposed to be. It's massively oversized. You do get a little crew area on top there. These two, the driver's hatches, the radio operator, the machine gun operators hatches do move, although at the moment I'm struggling to get purchase on them. Yeah, it's not a favourite. I'm not going to lie. It's I find a lot of this stuff around the engine bay, it's a little fussy. The turret is reasonably solid, which is quite nice. They've got the angles about right, but it's not as good as some of the Panthers that I've seen. I do quite like the detailing on the side skirts. I think that's quite effective, the way it looks. And the way that the side skirts are actually held on is quite reasonable. These bits, as I mentioned before, and here, are very fragile, and just you don't even want to look at them. The worst thing for fragility, unfortunately, though, is this gun. You try and lift it at any point, and it will just, there we go, pop straight off. Now, the really weird thing is that they've got a mechanism in there, in the turret, for obviously elevating the gun. Unfortunately, when you put the mount on, there's no way to then do it. But the gun is not the most secure in the world. And the other annoying thing is turning the turret is you smash into these bits at the back, all the time, which is quite infuriating if you gets yourself stuck. And sometimes when you force it, it will pop the turret off, which is quite annoying. Now, this was £10 and 6p landed to me in the UK. I would pass on this, and I would save some money and get myself a better Panther. There are a few out there that are a lot better than this, and I will put down a list of alternatives on the side there. I think there's 8 different alternatives at different price points, but this one I'd give it a miss if I was you. It's very, very frustrating to build. The tracks are nice to put together. They're the sort of tracks that I do particularly like, and they move quite nicely as well. If I can just show you there. No minifigures, as this is a Wange model, and it's not something they do, I think. Or at least I can't think of a Wange model that I've encountered that does have minifigures. So that might be an influencing factor in your decision. But while, as I say, the basic shape is right, there's far too much going wrong with this to be worth the money, in my opinion. It's too fragile. There are better models out there for a similar sort of price. It's a little fussy. It's very, the build is very ill thought out in the process. So yeah, I'd give this one a miss, I'm afraid. So sorry, Wange, you're not doing great at the moment. Hopefully you can do better in the future. Well, hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.